Hey up, Mr. Josh here, and welcome to video number 6 for Listening and Understanding. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go to the link under this video that will take you to my website where you can download a question sheet. In the question sheet, you will see a link to YouTube. Watch that video as many times as you like, answer the questions, and then come back here to see what you got wrong and right. So today's video, ex-FBI agent Joe Navarro explains to us all about body language, or as he calls it, non-verbals. And this is of particular interest to me because when I'm talking to people on Skype, I am always looking at what they're doing. It's amazing how many people, when they first come on Skype, they're like, like this, or their lips are pulled back, or they're talking like this all the time. 90% of my battle is getting people to just chill, relax, calm down, loosen up. Still, never mind that. Let's get into this. Former FBI agent explains how to read body language. 34 questions? What was I thinking of? Oh, this is going to take me days. Oh, never mind. Let's get into it. Question number 1. Right at the start of the video, Joe Navarro tells us how the FBI defines what the rest of the world calls body language. What is the FBI definition? Well, the FBI definition is nonverbals. It's any action that is unspoken that communicates to people. So the whole, all this sort of business is nonverbals body language. Question number 2. Joe explains that how people dress and walk do not count as body language. True or false? False. How people dress and walk absolutely counts as body language. Like I try to look like I'm a teacher by wearing this shirt. Probably failing at it, but what the hell. Question number 3. How many years was Joe a spy catcher with the FBI? Well, Joe was in the FBI for 25 years. I know he doesn't directly say spy catcher, but that's pretty much what he was doing. Question number 4. According to Joe, how do most people decide who they will date and maybe marry in the future? Well, Joe says it's down to non-verbals or body language. This is particularly true for women, I'm told, who make a decision as to whether they like a man literally within the first 5 seconds. Us men, we're a bit slower on this, so it takes us 5 or 10 years to decide if we like someone. Question number 5. Joe says there is a common myth about what it means if someone folds their arms. What is the myth and what is the truth? So, according to the myth, folding your arms is a blocking action. But according to Joe, it's like self-soothing. It's like, oh yes, I'm giving myself a hug. Mostly speaking, I just have him. He's my little self-soother. Question number 6. What is the second great myth that Joe says is untrue? The second great myth is about eye movement. That when you ask people a question, the way their eyes flicker tells you if they're lying. Like, I think it's looking down is deception. Which is kind of weird because for me, looking down is not about deception. If I want to lie to someone, I'd lie to their face, literally directly to their face. Question number 7. Which of the following does Joe not mention as a false myth? Well, that would be answer number 3, which is stroking facial hair. Which, I always look unshaven, have you noticed? I suffer from what's called blue chin. But in the days when I used to have a beard, me stroking my beard did not mean that I was lying. Question number 8. Joe says that in truth, there is no Pinocchio effect. What does this mean and who was Pinocchio? So the Pinocchio effect is any kind of a tell that indicates you're lying, like touching your nose, covering your mouth, looking away. There is no one tell, according to Joe. Pinocchio is a famous wooden character who, whenever he told a lie, his nose would go whoop. But I think pretty much everyone knows who Pinocchio is. Question number 9. Joe tells the story of a mole that he helped to catch. What is a mole? So a mole in this example is basically a spy. It's someone who's entered a country in order to steal secrets or find information or whatever. A mole, as in the animal, is a wee black creature that digs under the ground and leaves big piles of earth on your lovely cut lawn. Question number 10. What action did the mole do to give a clue to his true identity? Well, the tell was how the guy held a bunch of flowers. Most Westerners hold flowers upright, whereas apparently in Eastern Europe, people turn the flowers upside down. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me why you'd hold a bunch of flowers upside down, but hey ho, if that's the case, so be it. Question number 11. Joe explains that confessions in the Hollywood sense never actually happen. How did he get the information he needed to prove someone was a spy? So as he calls it, it's FaceTime, which is basically just having a very long conversation with someone. And sooner or later, they'll give themselves away. So if you're ever being questioned by the FBI, say nothing. Zip it. Let them prove it. Question number 12. Who wrote the book, The Dictionary of Body Language? Well, if you got this question wrong, you really need help. Because obviously it's the guy doing the interview. He's promoting his book, which I have downloaded myself so I can find all your secrets when we're talking on Skype. Question 13. Why is a person's forehead of interest to anyone trying to read body language? Well, as he says, it's an early indicator of the life a person has had. So if their forehead has got lots of wrinkles in it, they've obviously been stressed. And a lot of times when people hear something or they're thinking about something, they sort of go, and everything wrinkles up. So that is why. Question 14. What is the Latin word for the area between the eyes on a human head? Well, that will be the glabia. Question 15. When is it that people do the bunny nose? Well, the bunny nose, that, is when people don't like something. As soon as you hear something or smell something or see something that you don't like, 90% of the people go, oh, my face is getting a right workout today trying to do all these gestures. If nothing else, it might tone everything up. There's a reason why I sit forward, just to hide the double chin. Anyways, moving on. 16. What does it mean if someone tilts their head? So if someone tilts their head, they are relaxed. So clearly I am super tense because all the time that I'm sitting here, I'm always bolt upright instead of being, no. Question 17. They show a woman standing with her arms akimbo. What does it mean if she points her thumbs forward? When someone has their arms akimbo but points their thumbs forward, it means they're inquisitive. And inquisitive basically just means that you're interested in something. It's like, oh, what's that? Oh, that's nice. Question 18. When people rub their legs, they're doing it for comfort. True or false? True. As he said, it's a pacifying action. Although personally, as a man, when I rub my legs, it's basically because I've got something sticky on my fingers and I need to get it off. Question 19. According to Joe, how we carry ourselves is also important. What does carry yourself mean? This is a green question which you need to look up. How you carry yourself is basically exactly what it says. It's, do you walk upright? Do you look good? Do you speak well? That is the whole business of how you carry yourself. Question 20. How often does a normal person blink according to Joe? Well, in this interview he says 8 times a minute, which doesn't sound right to me. I always thought it was nearer 20 or something. So I don't know, maybe he's just looking at one guy that's doing the interview who's chilled and relaxed and not blinking too often. But yeah, he says 8, but I always thought the number was much higher. Question 21. For most cultures, the first time people touch is when they shake hands. True or false? False. For most Western cultures, the first time people touch is when they shake hands. This is not true, certainly in Asia, where, like in Thailand, when you greet someone, it's like this. You don't touch each other. So it's only true for Western cultures, not all cultures. Devil's in the detail. Question 22. What does the human body release when we meet someone for the first time and shake hands? Well, according to Joe, we release chemicals that are like a bonding agent. They make us decide, do we like this person or do we not like this person? And as he says, pretty much everyone can remember a time when you shook hands with someone and you instantly went, don't like you. So yeah, actually that's most of the people I ever meet in my life. Oh well, such is life. Question 23. Joe asks the 2 women to stand further apart. Who is happier with this, Katicia or Laura? So the simple answer to that one is Katicia. She was the one who said, yep, I'm much happier with this. And Laura's like, no, not really. Question 24. What happens as a consequence to Joe asking the women to stand further apart? As a consequence, when they start talking again, they move back together, but not as close. There's a bigger gap between them. And it's weird, if you watch the video again, look at Laura. She kind of like trying to dominate Katicia. She sort of leans over her a lot. So yeah, she's one of these people that if she was talking to me, I would like, yeah, go away, stand back, leave me alone. I like my space. I don't like being up close with people. This is why I work on Skype. Question 25. What non-verbal action shows us that the 2 women are not completely comfortable with each other? So as Joe says, it's the constant back and forth and side to side and moving of feet and shuffling and blah 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 that shows that they're not happy with each other. Question 26. Joe implies there are a great many similarities between interviewing a spy and playing poker. True or false? True. Pretty simple. It's true. Question 27. As the poker players settle down at the table, Joe notes 3 things that indicate stress. What are the 3 things? Well, the 3 things are player 3 shuffling in his chair, player 5 grabbing his shoulder, and player 4 has her shoulders right up here. Question 28. Who appears to have changed their clothes just as the game starts? So yeah, when I first watched this video, I looked at it and I thought, hang on, they've got a different player there or something, and I had to go back and watch the video again. Player number 4, the lady. At the beginning when she's sitting down, she's got a very light coloured top on, and then when the game starts, it's black. So I don't know why that is. Maybe it interfered with the camera or something. Question 29. What is the significance about players 2 and 3 hand position as the cards are dealt? So the significance of the hand position is that they start covering the cards so that people can't see them. It's like the cards now have value. I need to protect them. It's my precious, as the saying goes. Question 30. Why do players shuffle their chips during a game? Well, basically they do it as a soothing action, which I don't know why people need to soothe themselves. I never do. Question 31. What is a good way to spot non-verbals when watching a video of a subject? As Joe says, it's basically play it at double speed and all the little actions will suddenly go whee in front of you. Question 32. What does player 5 do to show that he's now active in the game? So player 5 is the guy in the corner with the hat who had his arms folded the whole time, and then as he became engaged in the game, he opened up his arms, which showed that he was there, active in the game and ready to play. Question 33. What should poker players be studying when the cards are dealt? Well, Joe says that you shouldn't be studying your cards, you should be studying the other players. But I used to know someone who played poker quite a lot, and he said that when he saw someone studying other players, it really irritated him, and he refused to play with that person. So if you're going to do it carefully. And finally, question 34. I didn't think we'd get there, but here we go. Last question, 34. As Joe wraps up the interview, he tells us why we should study non-verbals. Why should we do this? Well, put simply, most of what we say is done non-verbally. We have all been in a situation where literally when you've just walked into a room and met someone for the first time, you've instantly gone, no, don't like that person. Or, hey, I like this person. Everyone is always transmitting some kind of non-verbal information, whether we like it or not. Even if we try to be like, not doing nothing, no, seriously, I'm not doing anything. We are transmitting. So maybe you should go and buy his book on non-verbals. It's in the Amazon store. I bought it and I'm working my way through it so I can find all your secrets when you're in front of me on Skype. So there we go, another video dealt with. I hope you got some useful information out of that and you enjoyed it. Although I gotta say, that was a long one, and next week's video, I actually don't know what it will be yet, but trust me on this, it's gonna be a lot shorter than this one. I don't know what the hell I was thinking of. 34 questions! Oh, way too many questions. And before you go, don't forget, subscribe, playlists, like buttons, all that stuff. Please hit it for me. Ciao for now.